Hey angels, I hope you're well. Um, this is going to be for my Scorpio sun, moon, and risings, what is coming in for the month of May. And I feel like this full moon that we just had, which was in Scorpio, it did something very big to your psyche that has opened you up significantly, both in such a way to where this is like a beautiful new chapter when it comes to your more spiritual side, no matter what it is that you believe in or follow. But also in a way where I would say it's very important to cleanse and ground yourself, and talk to people that you can trust if you need to, but also be discerning of who it is that you're trusting. And as I'm saying all this, I'm like feeling my crown chakra right now, just like boom. Because the things that I got for you were certainly more witchy in nature. Um, and then I got some like old house songs I used to listen to, but I got the phrase transfixed, um, witching hour, and then something about like dried flowers or like using dried flowers in something. Um, or you may have some plants that were neglected, but it's not indicating that this is like a negative thing. It's been like a transmuting thing. Um, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Um, I want to say spiders, but it's not just spiders in general, it's specifically black widow spiders. So this is like a big, I just heard melting pot, something's melting. I'm getting that that's like in a figurative sense, but perhaps you could take it in a literal sense. But oftentimes when we think of change or transformation, it's like a shedding process, right? Or stuff falling away. But I'm getting something is like melting, which makes me think of alchemy. Um, we can get into the cards though. I feel like there was a song I wanted to mention. Also something about like the Riot Girl music genre, like 80s and 90s, like punk, hard rock, like feminist culture. It doesn't matter what you identify with, but um, something about that is coming through here. Let me just check my notes real quick. Oh, yeah, it was the house music. So, like, I Remember by Dead Mouse and Cascade. Um, Breathe by Telepop Music. Stuck on You by Machiko. 6 Foot Underground, Sneaker Pimps, like that kind of music coming through. Um, I also can't remember if I introduced myself yet, so I might be doing a double intro, but if you haven't seen me before, my name is Katie from In Angelhood Readings. I will never reach out to you first, and if you ever want to book a reading with me, you can only do so at my website, inangelhoodreadings.com. But what else for Scorpio in the month of May? Definitely a very big transformation just happened. Oh, yeah. So, for one thing, it's very interesting because I feel like you very, very, very quickly have transmuted heartache specifically. Like a lot of what was coming through were wounds of relational wounds, right? It doesn't just have to be romantic, though I do feel like that is relevant for some of you. Um, and I'm talking aside just from like toxic situationships, like big disappointment and betrayal in love. I also feel like this is family, though. We have all sorts of relationships, and I am getting something, perhaps about, I don't know if I can say this on here, but having given up SELFHARM in the past, and a cyclical, healing is not linear, it's cyclical, but something coming up about that, or perhaps wanting to get a tattoo, like laser removed, something in that area. But you've recently, and I don't want to say that it's just because of the Scorpio full moon, right? Because you're putting in the work too, but it has been like recent where you may have noticed that you are being more responsive than reactive to things. And we know Scorpios can be a bit reactive at times, okay? No shade there. I love Scorpios. But because of this, there's a lot of new eyes on you. It's like even if people, right, because we feel energy before we see things happen in the 3D, even people who aren't tapped in, so we should say, at least like consciously, right? People feel things before they see things. Uh, and so it's like people can tell that you've changed, and many of them wouldn't know how to articulate that, or perhaps even realize that's what they're registering, but they may be treating you different. I feel like in some camps with more respect and others with a sort of like intimidation, which, you know, when people start feeling that way, they can react in odd ways. So just be mindful of that. And like I said at the beginning of the video, like be discerning with who you're trusting. Not that you need to be paranoid. I say that though, and it's the Seven of Swords, which is the sneaky card, okay? Some people are going to be perturbed by the energy that you're holding yourself in, which is one of better standards. It's one of utilizing your intuition more, upholding boundaries, and having that discernment. So just practice that discernment, practice that intuition by really taking a harder look at who it is that you are involving in your inner circle, okay? We have the Queen of Coins reversed, and what is that? I don't want to use the term destiny swapping because I kind of rebuke that. So we're not going to go as extreme as to say destiny swapping, but there are people who want what you have. Even if that is just the way that you carry yourself, or if it's literally like your job title, things you have, your relationship, your home. I feel like that's where that Seven of Swords energy is coming in. And so it's like the people that already felt that way, it's like now that you, I don't want to use that word, but you've raised your frequency, you've raised your magic, right? Mirror magic. Mirror magic is relevant. Red candles are relevant. I do feel like there are people, this was the Eight of Pentacles reversed. There are people who are preying on your downfall. And I feel like that sounds, I don't know, I don't like to say things that sound sensationalized, but I do feel like that is an energy that is unfortunately kind of surrounding you in the periphery right now. King of Cups reversed. Yeah, people are really like off put by any sort of success they see you coming into right now. It's not even that I'm getting like this is like you know, you're not being gang stalked, right? It's nothing like that, but I would say there's probably 2 or 3 people in your reality that are feeling this way. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. They want what you have. Empress on the bottom of the deck. So just be very careful, cleanse, ground, shield yourself. Shield yourself every day before you go to bed. Shield yourself when you wake up. When I say shield yourself, I mean energetically, okay? There's tons of resources online to read about which way works for you. I like to envision myself with white light around me that transmutes, and I speak into existence my protections and my will. But anyways, Scorpio, that is what I have for you right now. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time.